I can do all kinds of once we're started, but hey.
Good evening, Cubes of the Cash. Sorry for the delay. We had a little technical problem on my end where my computer decided to all of a sudden stop audio, and I don't know what's going on, but we are on my phone. We are pushing forward, and tonight we are honored to have on the 1011 the best show on YouTube that gives you a personal look at people and their books. And we are welcoming, first of all, my co-host, Stax Rob. How you doing, Rob?
How you doing, Gary?
Well, good if my stuff was working properly.
No, you're not. I know. Yeah.
And then, of course, we had the guest of honor, Surcam Stances. Rob, could you put him in the
Yes, I can. I can do all that for you, sir, now that we're here. And there you go. Oh, how was that?
No disrespect to Slab Hub. A great show on YouTube.
Marcus,
no
I start all this stuff. Introduce yourself to the audience so the people watching on the rewind know who you are, and give us a little bit of what your channel is all about.
Well, my name is Marcus, aka Surcam Stances. That's been my online moniker for over 20 years now. It all started in an online game called EverQuest because I am a gamer nerd as well as a comic book nerd. So that has been my name for a really long time, but now I might be more known in comic books as Surcam Stances and video games. I don't know. It's starting to rival it. But my channel I started over a year ago I really try and highlight artists. I try and make my channel about making the artists and the writers of these books that I love. I try and make them celebrities by just putting up pictures and being familiar with who they are and what they're doing. And it's really gone a long way in terms of familiarizing myself with these people behind these books that I love so much, so that when I go to a con, it's pretty easy for me to recognize most of the people that I'm looking for because I've been using their pictures on my channel for a long time. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, definitely check it out. And the other thing I do is I try to be funny. You know, I do it on Instagram and I share some of them on YouTube as well. I try and make little reels about comic book and stuff that we do. And most of my stuff, I realized, I was like, man, I got to come up with some new stuff because most of my jokes are about my wife. And my wife, you know, I make her out to be this tyrant in my jokes, but she really doesn't care like that. But it works. It works for the jokes. So for my jokes, she's a tyrant who's always mad.
They're the oldies but goodies, right?
Yeah, you know,
wife, please.
My wife. Yeah, it's hard not to go back to that well over and over again. But I have fun, you know. I get up every day. I try and come up with at least one a day and try and be funny with it. And yeah, so yeah, it's on Surcam Stances on Instagram as well as YouTube. And yeah, that's me. I think that's the end of the spiel for now. Oh, KC, what's up? Forever Royal.
So you're all about being a fill-in team.
Hey, this year we're not very good, but hey, 2015.
Hey, you're probably better than the Oakland A's, which you're filling in for.
Hey, what about that 2015? That 2015, what a year. God, I can't believe how long ago that was.
Well, I remember back in 1917, the A's had a great team back then.
I'm holding on to that one still. I think we're going to hold on for a long time, actually.
Right.
Hey, but we got the Chiefs, though.
Now,
had to change their name yet?
Hey, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know how they're getting away with that, actually. What's up, Trev? Good to see you.
Everybody's focused on everything, all the other teams. And I think they must be the last ones that left standing.
Hey, man, look at this chat tonight. It's popping up in here. CBC Awards, Brian LCS, I see you. I've been really trying to promote it as much as possible, so I'm going to take this time. CBCawards.org. Make sure you get your nominations in. The window is closing on nominations, so our window of making sure that the best guys are represented is closing. So if you got somebody that you want to show some love, definitely get out there. There is a category specially made for Gary B, the community builder. And who's a bigger community builder than the guy who lets scrubs like me come on his channel and promote themselves? So get over there to the CBC Awards, promote it, support your people. Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, right. And with that,
the rest of the show is Borat.
My wife.
How hard was it for you to pick 10 books, Marcus?
It was really hard because I'm not really sentimental, and the big problem is that Rob was out last week, so I filled in as a host, so I got to watch Cup of Comics do his spill, and whew, let me tell you guys, you ain't gonna see nothing like you saw last week. This week,
Yeah,
man,
William had a bunch of fun with it. He was great. Cuppy.
he had some crazy books, man.
Well, not only that, Gary, you missed it because you were having audio problems, but he only finalized his selections while you were still trying to fix out your audio. So,
Yeah, we're still working on it.
so it was pretty hard.
Hey, what up, Panda? Awesome, Kansas in the house. What's up,
But it
Ty
can be
Locks,
hard.
TM Murdy?
It
I'm
can be
sorry, I
really
just
hard
love
to,
this chat right now.
yeah, it can be really hard to get down to just a 10 books or something. And I know that, like, Brian's doing one that I'm with for where it's just ASM stuff, and you're like, okay, only one character, and you got to pick like 5 or 10 books. But I mean, 5 books. How do you pick just 5 out of everything that's been out? Let alone say 10 of everything that's in your collection. It's tough to do.
It can start to feel pretty arbitrary, you know.
Yeah.
Like I used to do a top 10 covers every week video, and when it gets down to that top 10, it starts to feel arbitrary. Like, okay, this one's better, but I don't know. It gets
How
hard.
much or what does it mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Or when you do the end of the year 10 favorites, even
yeah.
just confined to 1 year of production, you're like, what do I do? But
Like I'm not sure that I would have the same answer every day if you were to quiz me.
no, it's definitely not. So Gary's trying to switch his audio back and forth. So what we're doing, let's go ahead and kick off, and why don't you go ahead and start the 10 books that you chose. Let's go ahead and in no particular order, of course.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
start out with number 1, Marcus. Let's get a look at what's in your
Now I am going to cheat. Now there's some of these books are going to be batches of books, but they are grouped in a way. And so the first one is going to be a batch. I have a comic book dad. I didn't really grow up with a real dad, but I have a comic book dad, and I love him very much. I get to hang out with him every Wednesday night for his new comic book day haul on Indie Comics and Reviews on YouTube. He's a great guy, Ross. He actually is a comic book creator himself, though. And one of the things that I was really excited to do was to go and grab Lorenzo's own created material or books that he's made. So I went to his shop. I actually got a shirt, and it's one of my favorite shirts of Bunny Assassin. It's just a logo of this guy, Bunny Assassin.
Ninja Bunny Assassin.
That's right. Ninja Bunny Assassin. So I went and grabbed a bunch of books from him.
So is he a ninja bunny that does assassinations, or
yes,
does he assassinate ninja bunnies?
He's a ninja bunny that does assassinations, and he's a BA, as you can see. But a fun character. Actually, I read this so long ago that I probably need to reread it, but I did enjoy it, and I like his style of art. It is a cartoony kind of art that I really enjoy. I really bought this as for sentimental value, was to just grab some books from my homie. So I'm gonna go with the first books. Is that number 1? Some interesting, different type of books. Complicated hair.
Hey, some of us don't have complicated hair anymore.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I had to quit my hair before it quit me, for sure. Yeah. And then this is a super group, the Austin 5. So it's a cartoony kind of style. Obviously not for everybody, but very sentimental to me. Check my guy out if you're interested in that at all. Great dude. And he is like I really enjoy people who have been in comic books for a long time. And he's one of those people like you guys who's been in it for a long time. I have a long perspective on comic books. So I really enjoy that with you guys and them, and definitely with him as well. And so for that reason, I'm going to make that number 10. I'm starting it off.
So freak you. This is the wrong show.
Shout out to Freaky, man.
Right.
That's the guy. No. Hey, Chop. What's up, Chop?
Now, TJ guys, check out Marcus's links in the description below. So anything that he's showing or promoting, you can probably find on his Instagram and on his YouTube channel, where all the links are provided in our description, as well as my co-host with the most, Rob Fat Stacks of Comics. His is down there too. He's on the road to beat Taylor Winder, so let's get him there.
That's my entire goal in YouTube, right?
And a prime candidate. I got to point out a prime candidate for best hair, best facial hair, or hands in the CBC Awards.
On my cruise, they lopped off about 2 centimeters off my mustache and off each side, and I was livid.
Well, so did Cole Comic Claims contact that barber beforehand?
Must have. It was. I'm sure I was
You're
sabotaged.
sabotaged.
Yeah, exactly. That would make sense when I said don't touch the mustache. And just slightly off. I'll just even it up. Next
Right?
thing I know,
His deposit hit and your mustache
oh,
went.
What up,
All right, so
Roscoe?
a
Good
good
to see you,
collective
brother.
number one, Marcus. What have you got for number two for us, sir?
All right. Number two, I'm gonna go with a book that I just actually got, and it represents my weekend recently in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I got to meet a bunch of comic book YouTubers who are very,
you can
very
say it,
cool.
nerds.
Yes, comic book nerds. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Which is exactly what I was there for. If you look at my Instagram profile, I'm a comic book nerd who is looking for other comic book nerds. So absolutely. But I got to hang out with like Legion of Comics,
To do nerd things.
Poke and Joe, Remy Q Studios, just Big Lion Cat, Flash by Night in the chat was there, Southpaw Brad. I'm like just a ton of people that I had a ton of fun with. I got to talk with Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers. That was super cool. And of course, all the creators you got to hang out with, Ed Piscor, Trey Antley from who's done some great Red Room covers. Got to talk with Mark Bagley, who was really funny, George Gianti. So I just really had a great time. But when I first went into the building on the first day, my man Poke and Joe, look him up, Poke and Joe, comic book reviews on YouTube. Great dude, fun dude, Renaissance man of our era. He hands me a book, Daredevil.
Oh man,
184. The first team up of Spider-Man and Daredevil. And I thought this book was super, or Punisher. Sorry, Punisher.
That's not Spider-Man's first team up. That's a
Punisher. Sorry, Punisher. Thank you, Rob.
That's back a few years.
That's what the vets are here for, to correct.
Our Spidey sense.
We've all been tongue twisted and said the wrong thing once or twice in our careers.
Well, I mean, the big gun probably should have gave it away that it was Punisher that he was chilling with.
What I really can't believe is they wrote a whole song about this comic book.
Yeah, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
But he handed it right over to me. He had a bunch of other books that he was handing to the other guys. Super great dude. And I just thought that was representative of my weekend, which I had so much fun with, and this community, which is really we can be toxic and we can hate everything that Marvel does on Disney Plus, but we do love each other. We do love this community, and we're really nice to each other for the most part. So I really appreciate that, and that's why I wanted to make that definitely one of my books to represent that. Shout out to Poke and Joe. Love that dude, man. Check him out.
Poke and Joe is awesome and a super fun dude to talk to. And
yes.
Miss Marvel is a wonderful show. I don't know who's hating on that show, but that show is charm.
I think that one's getting more love than most, really.
It's fun.
I think it's I think a lot of people, without getting too deep, a lot of people didn't expect much, and so and weren't as familiar with the character from a comic. I don't know how many people read the comic book necessarily, so they're more forgiving of it as a result. But anyway,
I like it. I like more forgiving. I'm forgiving, and I think I've talked about this many times, but I'm super forgiving. And I don't know about you guys, but I remember Marvel movies in the 80s and Marvel TV shows in the 80s.
Sure.
And so I'm super forgiving.
Right. I do find them entertaining, and we live in an embarrassment of riches. I think all three of us have talked about it before. Like you would have died for any kind of quality of this nature and stature when we were kids.
Man.
We had Hulk and Thor on TV and it looked horrible, but you loved it.
Yeah. The other aspect of it is simply, look, we can all pick up alternate reality comics, right? Of Spider-Man. I can pick up another book whether it's in the Renew Your Vows universe or a different alternate universe where Savage Spider-Man or whatever, any of these different books, we all pick up these alternate universe one-off stories all the time and read them and have no problem. So why is it all of a sudden when it's presented on TV or a movie, we have to know this has to be accurate to 80 years of comic book history 100%, which nobody can even understand what's accurate over the last 80 years because they keep changing it.
Yeah, there's a million different accurates that they can choose from.
Just kick back and relax and enjoy the ride.
But I think some people I think that some people genuinely have fun hating on everything. It's like part of what they want to
Sure.
do. You know, to each their, everything ain't got to
I
be
do
for
that
me.
with Pokemon. Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
Neither
But
does Rob.
I
He's
am
just beating Tyler to the punch.
I'm saving up Miss Marvel. I like to binge it. So how many episodes is it left on that?
2 episodes left.
So I like to watch it. I like to binge it the week of the finale and then watch the finale. So
Nice.
that'll probably be what I do.
I understand. I'm just getting around to season 1 of Star Trek Discovery.
I never did.
I'm
I never
behind.
did watch that one.
All right.
I
What's
never-
book number 3?
Okay, book number 3 is another
Gosh,
shout
Marcus, quit going off track.
out to the community. Oh, I'm going off track because I'm
Hey,
worried that
Oh,
We're having
my
fun,
books
right?
don't measure up.
we're here to go off track, Marcus. I was just joking.
All right, because I'm good at that. Shout out to Mark, the NFT man right there, Sleeping Comics.
Because Gary
Check
built
his
an
channel
airplane
out.
with wings.
If
Right.
you're into NFTs,
Oh, he
that's the
built a
guru
train
right there.
with wings. That's what I meant to say. See, there we go. Oh, look at that.
Next
Ella-
up,
Ella Cool Spider.
I am shouting out Batmite. You can find her on Instagram, BATMYTE, a great member of this comic book community, aka Doreen. She was at the WonderCon and she posted on Instagram a photo, a bunch of her books, but one of her books was this one with a little remark. What up, brother John? He was also at Heroes Con. Great dude. Digger Jim, fun guys, man. Digger Jim has beautiful freckles. You know, they both do actually. But anyway, I'm getting their freckles are throwing me off track. Doreen posted this, had a nice remark from Mike Mayhew.
Ooh.
And I was like, Doreen, I gotta have that. And she was like, okay, I'll get it for you. I was like, what? Are you serious? And so sure enough, she goes back the next day to WonderCon and grabs me a copy. I PayPal her the money and she sends it over to me, man. And I was super, super excited to get this one in the mail. And that, again, that goes back to a theme that I kind of wanted to have, which is this community, which is so very awesome. I didn't know. I knew Batmite just from following each other on Instagram and sharing comic book stuff. But that's really about the extent of how we knew each other. But she was still willing to do that for me and take the time to mail it to me. And I cannot say thank you enough. And that's just another sign of this, symbol of this community and why it's so amazing. And part of why I really got drunk off this stuff a year ago and I'm still here. I would have thought I probably would have burnt out on all this by now, but I have not. I'm still going strong and having fun with it. And people like Batmite are the reason why.
Well, I just requested to follow her, so hopefully she'll
She's dope. She's very cool, and she collects all comics, but she's big DC and her collection. She was on the low grades a while back, and her DC collection is super, super impressive.
Wow.
Nice.
Somebody did knock you out.
well, hopefully
Love
we can get her on here too. It's hard
Love
to get
it.
women on the shows.
She would be a spectacular guest. I think she's pretty busy, but if you could get her, that would be a great get for sure.
Put in a good word for me.
All right, I will.
All right, number 4, sir.
All right, next up, this one.
They're all community books so far too.
All right, I'm going to break the mold here. This one is from my childhood collection. Now, most of my childhood collection is Avengers West Coast. And if you follow me on Instagram, I've been showing my entire collection of Avengers West Coast, starting from number 1. Today was number 35, which was a great Doom cover that was pretty popular. It got more likes than most of them do. So check that out if you like Dr. Doom. But most of mine are Avengers West Coast because that is what you could find in the quarter bins, because back then it was quarter bins at the used bookstore. And so I would always dig in these quarter bins trying to get me a run of something together. And Avengers West Coast, somebody around there was buying it and didn't like it and dumping it. And I was snatching all of it up. So that was really what I read a lot of because that's what I could get a consistent read from. It was really difficult for me to get a run. But one day I was in there and I found this book of The Invincible Iron Man, number 118, and the significance of
First
Rhodey, who is a black character in Marvel Comics. So as a black kid, that was a big deal to me. So I was super excited. I thought I just won $1 million finding this book in the quarter bin. Now, I know now that if you look at it, it's very extremely damaged. On the back, somebody put a blue marker on the back. So it's very, very low grade book. For But for me as a kid, I didn't understand all that mattered. It just mattered that I had this book. It was a huge key that I really wanted. And so
and you get to read it and enjoy it and love it.
yeah,
I say
not going to
argue that it doesn't matter. It's
well, for me, it doesn't. You're right. So right, there's levels to it, right? It matters in terms of value, but in terms of sentimental, it doesn't necessarily matter. So in terms of the value, no, it doesn't matter.
Value to other people, value to you.
Sentimental value, a book that I've had since I was 10 years old. I've lugged it around to every place that I've lived, all those years. And I've always taken it out and looked at it from time to time. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Have you acquired another copy since then from a
No, I have not.
I know some people like to go back and they'll take the ones that like they love like this that still mean as much, but they'll also go out and go seek out that because it's significant to them. They'll go out seek out an investment copy or something.
I have poked around. I have poked around on eBay for it, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it.
Well,
I would like a nicer copy.
About 6 months ago, I had a near mint copy of it.
Whoa!
But like you, there was someone here that I'm friends with, and that book meant a lot to them, so I just gave it to them.
That's super
because
dope.
it was something personal to them. So I'm like, look, it's a nice book, but it means something to you. So they have their nice near mint copy. I think they sent it in to get graded, and it's still out there in the ether.
I think this could have been a spec book too. It's not my spec book, but it could have been a spec book. You got Secret Wars coming up, or Armor Wars. I'm sorry, coming up with Don Cheadle. So you don't know if there'd be any legs to that. But this book will not be sold. It will not be going anywhere. But it is my baby. It reminds me of digging in those quarter bins and trying to find gold in there that somebody decided to throw away.
And Don Cheadle is a great roadie. That was such a good transition for Marvel to Don Cheadle. And no hate on the other guy. I just really think his personality fits Rhodey better.
He was cool, but they haven't, just really haven't done a whole lot with him yet. But we'll see what they do in Armor Wars.
Well, there's still the next Avengers.
Yeah,
someone's got to lead that young crew.
Iron Man's dead.
Yeah, someone's got to lead the young crew.
Okay, so the next one it's kind of a community pick because this one goes back to Planet Comic-Con. This is one that I bought at Planet Comic-Con here in Kansas City. And I had so much fun in Kansas City at Planet Comic-Con that it was why I was like, all right, where else can I go? I'm going to Heroes Con in Charlotte now because I had such a blast. But the next book is oh man, you can't really see that. Hold on.
Oh, Little Monsters.
Scotty Young, Little Monsters #1 variant. And it's an exclusive for him. And I bought it from him at that con after standing in line for about an hour waiting for it. But it was actually fun standing in that line for that hour because first of all, I was standing there with my CGC witness, Ricky, who I became good friends with, who was actually at Heroes Con, got to hang out with him again. But I got 14 signed slabs at Planet Comic-Con, and Ricky was there for most of them. So we got to hang out quite a bit. And I liked him quite a bit. I mean, super cool dude. I met his wife, met his daughter. I feel like I'm part of the family. Love that guy. So we were standing, and that was our first line standing together, and we stood in that line for the longest. But we made friends with the people standing around us. And then while I'm standing there, Bobby De La Ghetto comes up and gives me a book that is one of my books tonight, actually. He's there with Brother Joe. Burke Family 54 comes up, says what's up. Panda 316, Panda Awesome comes, says what's up. And it was just such a great experience. I felt like the coolest guy in the world standing in that line. And I got a lot of books signed from Scotty. Most of them went to CGC, but this was one that I kept. And I really do love this cover. I regret not sending it. Actually, I wish I would have sent this one too. But I really enjoyed this cover and I love it. But more than that, I enjoyed the experience of standing in that line for an hour, talking to all the comic book nerds and just soaking it up, man. So much fun. Highly recommend.
You can always send it to CBCS if you want.
Yeah. I need to try. I got a few like that I would like to try.
Now let's go on a tangent here for a quick second before you get to book 6.
Okay.
Did you used to go to cons before you were on YouTube?
Mm-mm.
No,
sir. My first con was actually Planet Comic-Con last year.
Okay.
And it was cool, but it wasn't nearly as cool. I knew Burke a little bit and I chatted with him a little bit. We didn't really know each other. And I just, I spent most of the time just walking around by myself. So it just wasn't as fun. But this year, after spending a year on YouTube and Instagram and meeting more people and hanging out in more lives and, just getting more and more friends and that way, it was just a completely different experience where
And that's what I was going for.
drunk off of it. I'm drunk off of it. Like if I had money, I would go to a con at least once a month. If I had money like that, for real, I would.
Yeah, I always get jealous watching from home and seeing all you guys bumping into each other.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Highly, highly recommend.
How dare my wife have this 25th anniversary cruise shit signed up when I could have been in Heroes Con with all y'all.
Oh, next year, I'm going back. I know Legion said he's going. I know a lot of folks. We had so much fun that
it looked like it was a really good comic con versus a pop culture con.
Exactly. And that was what we all said. I love Planet Comic-Con. Planet Comic-Con was awesome. But the reason why Heroes Con was significantly better is that Heroes Con was really much more focused on comic books and comic book vendors and comic book creators. So it didn't have the celebrities and the side stuff that Planet Comic-Con, which, no disrespect, everything ain't got to be for me.
Right.
But it just made Heroes Con better.
It's all about me.
Reason. Yeah.
When it's my money, it's all about me.
and Charlotte was super cool, man. I really loved Charlotte. Actually, I loved that city. It was fun.
Awesome.
So highly recommend.
I was just thinking that when you were talking about this whole thing of standing in line with your witness stuff, I was thinking to myself, man, I wonder if when I get ready to retire, that's how I could get a gig as a witness and just go around the cons and like freaking witness books.
It wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad because at first I was like, man, this job sucks. Why would you do this? I was talking to Ricky in our first line. I was like, man, you're going to be standing in this line with me, and you really are getting very little out of this. I feel like I can't imagine you're getting a whole lot out of this.
Yeah, they're not getting paid a lot. You think?
Yeah, but the experience, I think he didn't have the best time of his life, but it wasn't a terrible time for him either. I don't think.
Yeah.
And you walk away from everything with something you could talk about, some kind of experience that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah, and they all, I know a lot of them got their own stuff. They would witness stuff for each other as well, getting stuff done that way. So there's a lot of perks I'm sure that they get out of it.
Perks is probably more of what they get paid than anything else.
Yeah, for sure. This one witness got this Patrick Gleason remark that was super cool. It was a Venom coming out of the Amazing Spider-Man 93 Gleason cover. Just random tangent just came to mind, but it was super cool.
Awesome. All right, number 6.
I forgot what book we're on now.
6.
Okay.
6. All right. The next one is another going back to the community. I, for a while this last year, had the goal of completing my Avengers West Coast run because, as I said, that's what I had the most of when I was a kid because that's what I could find in the quarter bins. And there were 2 books that were difficult to get, this next one and another one. And I actually got both of them from this community. One person, Bobby De La Ghetto, my man, who is also from Kansas City. Go Chiefs, go Royals, go Sporting KC. Shout out to all my Kansas City homies, all my Kansas homies. But Bobby De La Ghetto knew that I was looking to complete my run, and he hit me on Instagram and proposed a trade. And so it was actually the first time that I got out and met someone in the community. I went out and met him at a vintage stock, and we made a trade. I gave him Iron Man number 12, the Miles Morales Bruce Lee cover. I had it was a 9/8 slab that I gave him. And he gave me one of the books I was worried about getting, the White Vision,
nice.
Avengers West Coast 45. There was 2 books. There's 2 big books in Avengers West Coast run, and this is one of them. And I was really concerned about getting this one. I didn't want to pay a whole lot of money for it. So it worked out making the trade way better. So shout out to Bobby De La Ghetto for hooking me up with this big book. It was just a crucial part of completing this run, which was an awesome goal that I got to complete, man. I'm really excited. And I can't wait to come up with another goal, man, actually. But yeah, love that cover. White Vision.
It's so funny too, because there was a $1 book for the longest time.
I know. I wish I was I was just thinking today, I was slapping myself in the car like, why was I not collecting 10 years ago? Just gobbling these books up in dollar bins because I love dollar bin books. I
Oh,
can't
same
help
here.
but
So
buy
many
them.
great reads in them.
Probably because, like the rest of us, 10 years ago, you didn't have as much extra money.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Definitely. But I would have loved to have multiple ones of these. I love that cover, actually. I love Vision. Scarlet Witch and Vision were my favorites as a kid, actually. I was always a hopeless romantic, I think.
Now,
That's
do
why
you
I
have
really liked
his first appearance Avengers cover that's like that?
it.
That's the
No,
homage to?
no, of course not. No, I
I
wish I
didn't know. I
did.
didn't know because you like Vision. Who knows what you could have it slab behind you
No,
for all I know.
I am not at the. I'm working my way up to. I am not at those levels yet. But yeah, shout out to Bobby De La Ghetto. Awesome dude. Awesome book. And I don't know if I would have completed my run without his help. So really excited to have that one. I will never trade that one. I will never break up my run. I'll always have a full run of West Coast Avengers. All right. Next one
Yes, sir.
Yep.
is still Bobby De La Ghetto themed. I mentioned sitting in the Scotty Young line and people coming up and talking to us and having a good time chatting. And I mentioned that Bobby gave me a book, and he did. And this one was a book that I was not going to buy because I feel like this book is overpriced right now. I feel like the hype behind it, pushing it up, is not worth the value that it's pushing it. So I was like, I'm just not going to buy this one. And Bobby was like, don't worry about it. I got you. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, man. But not really taking it too seriously, I expect nothing. But when he comes up to me and he hands me Avengers West Coast 94,
Ooh.
which is a big book because you got the Armor Wars coming up and people are specking the hell out of that. And
But
I
it's just
definitely,
a fantastic cover too.
it is a dope cover, but I definitely think it will come down after all that. It definitely will come down. So I didn't want to overpay it, but he just gave it to me for nothing. He handed it to me, and this is like a $50+ book right now. So it was super, super nice of Bobby to do that. Love that guy. Cannot thank him enough, man. And this was the very last book that I needed to complete my run. So his act of kindness actually completed the entire run. 102 books done with this one.
That is literally the best way to complete a run too. Is when
Wasn't it?
someone from the community completes it for you. It's amazing.
Yes. Super, super cool dude, man. I cannot thank him enough. Definitely check him out on the gram if you're not already following him. Bobby De La Ghetto. That's my man from Kansas City.
Now, does he come on
Love.
YouTube?
The very first time that I ever jumped on a live was on Dank channel, the Dank show. Back then it was called Dank Comics. But the first time I ever jumped on a live, I jumped on, and Bobby De La Ghetto was in the chat. And I didn't even know him at the time, but he was in the chat saying cool stuff. So I was like, hey, man, you need to jump on here with us. And so he actually did end up jumping on and talking with us that night. So the very first night that I jumped on a live, I was actually chatting with Bobby. That was the first time we ever talked to each other.
Awesome.
So, but I don't see him on lives too often, though. And if you do see him on a live, he will be rocking a mask, though. He's secretive like that. But if you go out and drink with him, he won't wear a mask. So if you want to see his face, you got to come to Kansas City and get
right. You got to
drunk
be
with us.
live. You got to be face to face.
Yeah. You got to come drink with us. That's what I like. I like getting drunk with comic book nerds. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend. What's the next con for you guys? Do you guys have any cons planned?
Actually, here in Rochester, we have our Empire Fest Con, which local artist that works out of Rochester, Ken Wheaton, started. It's just the third one. Each one's gotten bigger and bigger, so it's been nice. I volunteer there, helped him. Like last time, I got to walk Jim Shooter in, so that was nice. And I got to talk to Jim Shooter, shake his hand,
dope.
walk side by side. That guy's crazy tall. He's like Chewbacca tall. I looked like mini me next to him. But so we got that coming up in Rochester, July 16th.
Oh, are you gonna have any? Are we gonna see any pictures of nerds getting drinks together? That's what I want to see.
Probably not because because I'll be volunteering there, so I'll be working, and then I leave there, and then it's a Saturday, so I got to get home and watch Slab Hub.
What Adrian said. If you do plan on drinking with
exactly,
me, bring your hat.
Go hard. Yeah.
Hat.
I got 3 local ones coming up. I got San Jose Con, which I bought my VIP tickets for, which last year was it's a 1-day con in a hotel, but it's only comics. You know, it's one of those ones, and
Nice.
it was
Those
I
are
went
good.
last year was the first one, and this will be the second one. It's pretty good to get some good. I had like Sam De La Rosa last time. Get a couple guys, some older guys, but still, it's starting up. And it was counter programmed to Silicon, which used to be the Comic Con for the South Bay of California, the South San Francisco Bay, but it's got taken over by Jamie, not Jamie, freaking Savage from Mythbusters, and it's basically become a builders fair. So, matter of fact, they keep announcing, "Oh, come to our Comic Con," and there's not a single comic person there. It's all builders and cosplayers and such.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
bummer.
yeah. So I'm probably gonna skip that one, and then I do have tickets for Fan Expo in San Francisco. They're gonna do that.
Oh,
No,
that'll
that's
be.
gonna be in November, so I'll go to that one too.
Now,
They
I bet
they were just in Denver, right? I
Yeah,
hear
they're
they
going
did-
around. Fan Expo's going
Yeah.
around and such. So
I hear good things about them.
yeah, I think Fan Expo I'll be meeting up with I think E-List or C-List E-Man
Eamon, yeah,
is
that's dope.
he was talking about going out there. So we'll see.
That's what's up, man. Set
Hopefully
it
we'll get
up, man.
some of the other California
Yeah, man. That's what's up. That
homies
is
out
what's
there.
fun.
now
I
this
would
guy
love
right
to go to
here,
San Diego.
I bet he's fun to drink with. Copy?
That's what's up.
And
I'm down
Rob,
anytime.
your mustache saboteur is in the audience now.
Yes, right. I know it's all him. I know he's the one who did it. It's all right. We'll
Get your
work on growing
votes
it back
in.
out.
Get your votes in. Best hair, best
Yeah,
hands.
fortunately, the
Is it
voting doesn't
Rob?
go for a while. I still got time to get it fixed, grow back out.
CBCAwards.org. Get your
I
nomination.
thought Jimmy the Don was getting best hands for all that cocoa radiance he spreads on him.
I went with Tylox the Mighty myself. It was hard though.
Actually, what we need is we need somebody in the community who does ASL, so we could have had them for best hands.
Right. All right. I don't even know what book we're on.
We are on 8.
8.
Okay. Next up, now I think that there is an evolution of comic book collecting, and everybody goes at their own pace in terms of this evolution. I really, and everybody, you can have your own opinion on it. This is just my opinion. I think the top echelon is like when you get to the veteran, you start collecting original art is what you get about. So you less about grabbing every single new comic, and you're more about keys, but really more original art. And I aspire to that level. I'm definitely still a noob level, absolutely, but I do aspire to that level. And this is my first foray into original art, and I'm super excited about it. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know there is one independent comic that I push all the time. It's from Blue Juice Comics. It's not well known, but it's from a writer, Justin Gray, who I really, really enjoy, and an artist, Barry McLean Jr., who I also really, really enjoy. And I got a blank sketch variant done from Barry McLean Jr. And this was my first piece of original art.
Oh,
that is
Billy the Kid. I should have guessed.
That's the main character, Billy the Kid, super dope cat, very religious Christian, good bunny who is out fighting for what's right and good. I love this character. I love the way he's written and the way that his motivations have been put together. And I really enjoy the art from Barry McLean Jr. in this book. So when I went to go try and dabble in that next level collecting, that was where I went to get it from. So I really wish that I would have been at Fan Expo in Denver because he was there. And man, I wish I would have been there as well because I definitely would have got some more stuff from him because I really like that guy. But I am excited to have this. He was super dope and really kind.
And that's a full piece. That's nice.
Yes.
Really, I like that he even did the frame, and it just looks amazing.
It's great. I was really, really happy with it when I got it. And this is another one of those things that'll never leave. This one's mine till I die, for sure. Boom. There it is. Barry McLean, Billy the Kid. Check it out, y'all. It's a great little indie book. You can still get it fairly cheap directly from Blue Juice Comics. And it's just a fun read. And I know that they're working on the next arc right now, and I can't wait to check it out. So always got to promote them. Billy the Kid.
Nice.
All right, next up, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that there or YouTube, you know that I like a number of writers, but there is one writer that I put above all.
Nick Spencer.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
behind Nick Spencer, obviously. I
I'm sorry.
actually got to meet him at Planet Comic-Con, and I got a bunch of books signed by him, and 5 of the 14 books that I sent to get slabbed were from him, actually. But I did keep a couple from him, and I wanted to use that to represent. I just wanted to use him to represent that because he is absolutely my favorite thing in comic books, and that is King James Tynion IV, who's wrote Nice House on the Lake, obviously a great book that's going on right now. And then I also got Batman 106 signed by him as well, because I just really like that.
That looks
cover.
good on the yellow.
I actually got one of these. I had 2 of these. I got one of them slabs and I kept one of them. But super cool dude. It was really fun talking to him. A really nice, gracious, down-to-earth seeming fella. I really enjoyed hanging out with him and just looking deep into his eyes. I don't think he felt the same way about me, but I really have strong feelings for him. He's an awesome. I really like his writing, and I also like him because my friends are not comic book people. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I go out and I get so drunk off hanging out with you guys, is because I don't have anything like you around me. Even as a kid, when I collected comic books, it wasn't cool. You know, none of my friends thought I was cool. All of my friends made fun of me for collecting comic books, you know, but I'm just the sort of dude that does what I want regardless. So I would just take it, you know, and still do it. And it's the same thing now, you know, that my friends really aren't into it, and they see this huge pile that is amassed in the past year, and they think it's a little weird, and they don't exactly get it. But one of the ways in which I have gotten them to get it is by passing Something is Killing the Children to my non-comic book friends, and it's been a way for me to help them understand, you know, what's possible, at least in this, and that's from James Tynion. So that was another reason why I really like him, and that's why I included him. I've been cheating using 2 books, but you know, it's kind of been going off the theme.
So what's your favorite storyline from him?
Something is Killing Children is my favorite. I know it's not for everybody, you know, but I really enjoy the setup. I really enjoy the characters, and I really enjoy the lore of it so far. So it's my favorite. And like I said, I've shared it with 3 non-comic book people, and they have all 3 loved it. So I'm 3 for 3 on it. So feeling good about it.
Nice.
I love a bunch of other stuff from him. I read Wind. I read Nice House on the Lake. I read everything from him, actually. All right, next up is
number 10.
More books from Heroes Con. There was a book from Aftershock Comics that did not get a lot of love, but I hyped it as much as I possibly could because it was one of my favorites. I know Comics with Bueller was another big fan of it, so I wasn't the only one hyping this book, and that is Shadow Doctor, which is based on a true story from Peter Calloway. He's actually writing this story about his father and his grandfather. Really, the story is about his grandfather. And his grandfather was when he was a kid, it was during Prohibition, and he was running booze for the gangs in Chicago. And so he made various connections through that, and he actually knew Al Capone and people of that sort. And so he gets ambushed one day, and it scares him out of the game, and he decides to become a doctor. And I should point out he's a young black man in 1920 Chicago, but he decides to become a doctor, and he goes and gets educated, and he passes his test, and he becomes a doctor, but he can't get a practice or a job anywhere because he's black. And so he's not able to get a loan to start his own business because he's black, nor is he able to get a job in a hospital because he's black. So he's feeling stuck, and he ends up going back to Al Capone and asking Al Capone for money to help him out. And Al Capone's like, no, get out of here. I'm not giving you any money. As a matter of fact, I'm doing you a favor because you don't want to owe me money, and tells him to get on out. And he actually leaves. But Al Capone's mom sees the guy, and she says to his son, who was that? He looked like your dad back when I knew he just needed one little break, or something like that. She compared him to his dad. And that changed Al Capone's mind to where he actually does give him the money, gives him a start. And the story is about him being a doctor in the 1920s, but also kind of a mob doctor, because Al Capone obviously says, you know what, we do have a doctor now, and we do get shot, so we can use this. So
we have a need. You have a skill.
super interesting story. You know, pumped up by the fact that it is based on a true story. The doctor that this guy is about is actually a famous chemist doctor. He has his own Wikipedia page, Nathaniel Calloway. So I mean, he's a real person that you can go and look up. And this is an authentic story from his grandson as the writer. But the reason I'm pulling this one up is I did get all of these signed at Heroes Con by the artist George Gianti. I should have asked him how to say his name, but super cool dude. I actually chatted with him on day 1 and day 2 of the con, just hanging out and bothering him, being a geek around him. But a super nice guy, really gracious to me, and he was signed all of these books for me, which I love this series. It was, you know, it was one of my top 2, top 3 favorite books that I read last year for sure. So I was excited to get this signed by him. And this is another one that will definitely never leave my my site, my collection, because I really enjoyed the time that I got to hang out with George and talk to him.
And it's nice to have those storylines in your personal collection that you can just keep revisiting in it, and it just brings you great joy and connection.
What the hell is that?
Did you set it on a toy?
Oh, I set it on my phone. I was like, what the hell is happening? Okay, sorry, my bad.
He set an alarm to fake a phone call so he can say, oh, sorry, Gary, I gotta go. I got an emergency in case the show didn't go well.
Right.
Kind of like you do with you go out on a blind date.
Well, emergency. Okay. All right, one with a story.
One with a story? All right. This is another one from my childhood.
Bunch with a story.
Oh, there's another one from my childhood. I didn't get to buy a lot of new books, and I should take these out because I bought these recently. You know, I added these to the batch as a grown-up, but these two are actually mine from when I was a kid. And the reason why I pulled these out is because this blew the hell out of my mind as a kid when I first got this. It was when I first became aware of and a fan of Alex Ross. And this was Marvels that they did back then. And it's great painterly art from Alex Ross. And rather than stories about the superheroes, it's stories about the spectators of these superheroes. So all the stories are from people around it who saw these historic events happen and then their perspective of it. And that just blew my mind away as a kid. I really loved this art. And this was just one of those books that I've always pulled out and looked at and enjoyed and just been amazed by, even as a grown-up. You know, I didn't collect comics for 30 years, but I did lug my 90s comics everywhere I went. And I did periodically always pull them out and look at them. And this was a book that I would always actually pull out and look and read again because I just loved it so much.
And you just love the human perspective from it, right? The everyday human perspective.
I thought it was a really cool idea to tell us these stories that we knew already, or knew of at least already, but from a completely different perspective. And then just Alex Ross's art, just, you know, he's one of my favorites. I love, you know, if he has a cover, I'm probably going to buy it. So yeah, I was blown away.
Yeah, a lot of us found Ross either through Marvels or, as Trevor's talking about here, Kingdom Come. That was the first time I saw him was Kingdom Come, and then later on Marvels, and I was like, who is this guy?
Kingdom Come is actually on my homework list. This is my homework list from Beckerman. He bought me this book actually, and I've still got to read it. I hear great things though.
I've actually been toying with my LCS has a complete set they recently got, and I've been toying with the idea of whether I'm going to pull the trigger on it just to reacquire it because it's a classic.
Hey, there's Indie Comics and Reviews. There's Lorenzo right there. You missed your book, Lorenzo. You were number 1, brother.
There you go. He can rewind. It's always
good to see you. Good
All
to
right.
see you.
So now it's time for the spec pick.
This is the spec pick, and this is one that I was having a trouble deciding on. I'm gonna go with this one though because this goes back to the community. So I'm gonna go with this one. All right. So my spec pick. And this could be a long-term spec. I don't know how soon this is going to happen, but someday it will happen. You will see a Rogue in the MCU. And this is the first appearance of Rogue. I just recently got this book, actually, and this is where the community comes in. This was a win. I got this for free.
What a great win.
from a YouTube channel. But so Cali Comics on YouTube was doing a giveaway where he had a video and he showed a bunch of books, like a ton of great books. And I watched the video and I was like, that book's dope. That book's dope. But man, that Rogue #1, I would love to get that. And he announced that, if you do your comment or whatever, you get a chance to win. But when it came time to win, he actually said that there wasn't one winner. There was 14 winners. Everybody who included themselves won. Everybody who participated won. Right. Yeah. Crazy. So it's like, oh, okay, that's awesome. And he does a drawing. And so everybody that came out, you just came out in your order. And I was actually picked number 2. So I thought for sure the number 1 guy would pick this book because I just felt like there was a lot of great books, though.
I would have picked that too.
I thought he would pick this book, but when he didn't pick it, I was like, yes, I want that book. So shout out to John, my homie from Cali Comics, a fun guy. I'm actually in a few Facebook groups with him, so I feel like I kind of know that guy. But shout out to him for being super generous. There was a ton of great books that he gave away on that, and this was definitely one of them. And I think Rogue is coming one day. She will be a big book, or she will be a big character when she does come, because MCU is going to do it right. I know they will. I have faith. That's my spec.
You figure nothing else. They got to when they had the perfect way to get rid of Carol Danvers when they want, right?
They do seem to be setting up kind of maybe that storyline. I don't know if they're going to do that though. It's been done.
Got Spider-Woman in that book too.
Yeah.
So one of my favorites.
Great cover. Great cover with Mystique on it. Yeah, I love that.
That is one of the busiest covers I've ever done.
Right. I was going to get it signed by Chris Claremont, but I ended up not doing it.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you always think about it. It's like, oh, maybe I get signed. But I've never seen a good signature on that book because
where do you sign?
Yeah, I mean, you can sign it. You can sign across the Avengers, logo and stuff. Or
right
up
across the trade dress.
Yeah, the trade dress. But I mean, it's just got so much going on already. It's like adding signatures to it just seems like a waste.
Oh, man. I didn't even
for me, anyways.
I don't know if Bobby DeLegato I don't know if you saw your portion of the show, Bobby, but shout out to Bobby DeLegato in the chat. Shout out to brother Joe, KC, baby. We out here.
And also, I just lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Sorry.
Yeah, Bobby. People say they don't like that cover, which is true. I'd be happy if I found it. Yeah, I ended up with 3 I went from 0 to 3 copies all of a sudden of it because I found them on some sales for next to nothing. And I still don't care for the cover. I don't think it's the greatest cover in the world, but I'm not also sad that I have 3 copies.
Yeah, I
got like one 3.0 copy of it, and I'm just happy I have it at least.
Yeah, I don't know what that grade is, but it's a low grade. It needs a pressing, but it doesn't matter to me. It's awesome,
Right? No, it's just great to have it.
Yeah, it was like I think I came across more copies of that at the same time as that the disputed first Remy LeBeau, the annual. That's another one. Gary, where'd you run off to? It's time to wrap up the show, buddy.
It is, but I was hoping to find something real quick that I wanted to show Marcus.
Okay. Well, it was awesome having you on the show there. Why don't you tell what do you got coming up this week? Anything you want to share, anybody? What's coming up on the old Circumstances?
Definitely check me out over at Indie Comics and Reviews. I know Wednesdays are busy, but you can always check the replay if you like. But I like to hang out with my comic book dad, Lorenzo, over there. He shows off his haul, and then we take a look at next week's books and talk about what we like and what we want to get. So always a good time hanging out with him. Always enjoy the chat that we get in there. So definitely check us out if you're looking for a place to kick it.
Awesome. And everybody, don't forget to check down below for Marcus's links to his Instagram and YouTube. Make sure if you're not already, please do subscribe to him. And even though Gary won't ever ask for himself, if for some reason you aren't subscribed to Gary, but you're watching this right now, freaking subscribe.
Definitely subscribe.
He's only the nicest guy.
Definitely get over to cbcawards.org. Nominate Gary at least for the Community Builder Award. That is absolutely his.
Thank you, guys.
definitely jump over there and get that done and represent the content that you love on this channel. Make sure that it gets some representation at this show.
Absolutely.
And Rob, what have you got coming up, sir?
Oh, I'll open boxes and stuff. That's all. No, Saturday. Saturday is the what day is it? Today's Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
I'm just confused. I've been off for vacation for 12, 14 days, something like that, and I don't know what's what. Yeah, no, on my channel Thursday we'll have something box to open. I don't even know what it is, but it's in queue. And then Saturday's important one, that's Slab Hub, 11:30. I will have 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, over on my channel. We will have Southern Comic Geek on.
Oh,
he's
nice
coming back.
Nice.
So he'll be joining us as we take a delve similar to this, but only slabbed books.
Ooh, yes, and it is, it's inspirational. So definitely check it out if you have goals that you want to reach. You can,
and we give away a lot of books.
Yes, I love the
mugs and
yeah, that's right. You'll have all kinds of stuff, but mostly books.
Yeah, Lorenzo, I had to get 3 of them actually because I got one from Things from Another World. So yeah, I have a problem. I'm stupid.
Thank you, Chop.
Like this. I don't know why I'm like this, Lorenzo.
You see how cuppy is? He doesn't even have you subbed.
Dang.
Are we talking about the
No,
what 125? What did I miss?
The Batman. I was showing off what we were talking.
Design variant? Or
no, I love the 1 in 25, but I did get the design variant too.
What's the design? Is that one a ratio or is that just a variant this week?
It was an unlockable or something like that, or reveal or something. Yeah, they didn't reveal it till late, and I called my LCS and begged him, and so he hooked me up. Thankfully.
Yeah, I did like those covers. I back during Joker War made sure I had all of them. But
there's a ton of hype. People think that fell safe based on something Chip Zdarsky said. It's going to be important. He said it's Batman's doomsday is what he said.
Well, we'll see, because there's been a lot of introduced people as of late, which are nothing.
Great way to sell books, right?
And I think Doomsday is a horrible character.
Agreed, but don't tell Superman fans.
Right? All right, guys, I want to thank everyone in the audience. You guys, this chat was phenomenal. Thank you all for showing up to support Marcus on the show. It was great having him. He's been on the show 2 weeks in a row. He's trying to become a Doomsday. But Marcus, thank you for coming on to actually be in the guest seat tonight, sir. It was great having you. I apologize for my technical difficulties that my computer all of a sudden needed an update as soon as I went live.
Rob took good care of me.
He did. That's why he's got admin abilities, because I know I can trust the guy.
Just try to relax.
Right. So, but thank you so much, Rob. As always, thank you for co-hosting this with me. It's always great having you aboard, sir. And those of you watching on the rewind, please sub up Rob. Please sub up Marcus and show these guys some support. And we're gonna take a second to show the channel sponsor, and then we are going to sign off. So guys, until next time, keep it casual. Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code keep it casual for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.
Good
night,
stuff,
guys.
Man.